Emily Harrison stood at the kitchen window, watching the gray morning mist settle over Millbrook's quiet streets. Her hands, rough from endless work, gripped a chipped coffee mug that had seen better days. At 28, she carried the weight of survival like a heavy coat, her young son Thomas sleeping peacefully in the next room. The tiny apartment felt more like a survival shelter than a home. Peeling wallpaper and creaky floorboards told stories of struggle, of a life lived on the edge of possibility. Emily's world was a delicate balance of hard work, sacrifice, and unconditional love for her 6-year-old son. Every morning began the same way. Before dawn, she would prepare Thomas's school lunch, often just a simple sandwich made with whatever groceries she could afford. Her job as a diner waitress started early, and her second job cleaning offices would follow in the evening. Sleep was a luxury she rarely experienced. Thomas was her everything. A bright-eyed boy with his mother's determination, he never complained about their challenging circumstances. He understood, in the way children sometimes mysteriously do, that life was not always easy. When Emily would return home exhausted, he would quietly bring her a blanket or draw her a picture to make her smile. The winter that year was particularly brutal. Their apartment's heating system had been unreliable for months, and Emily's meager earnings barely covered basic necessities. Some nights, she would layer multiple blankets on Thomas, ensuring he stayed warm while she shivered slightly, her body a shield against the cold. At the diner, Emily moved between tables with practiced efficiency. Her smile was genuine, her service quick and attentive. Regular customers appreciated her hard work, often leaving small tips that made a significant difference in their monthly budget. She knew every extra dollar counted. Her colleagues respected her. They saw a young woman who never complained, who worked harder than anyone else, and who always put her son first. The diner was more than a workplace for Emily, it was a lifeline, a place where she could earn money and maintain a sense of hope. Between shifts, Emily would help Thomas with his homework, listen to his school stories, and dream of a better future. She had dropped out of high school when she became pregnant, but her intelligence and determination burned bright. She knew education was the key to changing their circumstances. The apartment's landlord was not particularly sympathetic. Repairs were minimal, and the rent was always a challenge. Emily would carefully budget every penny, cutting corners wherever possible. No new clothes, no unnecessary expenses, everything calculated to ensure Thomas had what he needed. At night, after Thomas was asleep, Emily would sit at their small kitchen table, surrounded by bills and calculators. Her fingers would trace potential paths forward, searching for opportunities, for ways to improve their situation. She was a strategist of survival, mapping out hope in spreadsheets and dreams. Her family had long since disconnected. A complicated history of misunderstandings and personal struggles meant Emily stood alone, with only her son as her true companion. But she was not bitter. Instead, she was determined to create a different narrative for Thomas. The local community center offered some support. Free meals occasionally, after-school programs for Thomas, small kindnesses that made a significant difference. Emily was grateful for every helping hand, every moment of compassion she encountered. Her phone, an older model held together with a cracked screen, was her connection to potential opportunities. She would spend her rare free moments searching for better jobs, online courses, anything that might provide a pathway to improvement. Thomas was her motivation. When she looked at him, sleeping peacefully, his dreams untouched by their financial struggles, she found renewed strength. He represented possibility, potential, a future brighter than her present. As dawn broke, casting soft light through the thin curtains, Emily prepared for another day. Another opportunity to work, to hope, to survive. Her story was not just about survival, but about resilience, about a mother's unwavering love and determination to create a better life for her child. The apartment might be small, the challenges might be significant, but hope resided here, in every carefully prepared lunch, in every loving glance, in every hard-earned dollar. Emily Harrison was writing her own story, one day at a time. The diner buzzed with morning activity, a familiar symphony of clinking dishes and casual conversations. Emily moved between tables, her movements efficient and practiced, balancing plates with a grace born of necessity. Her uniform was worn but clean, her smile genuine despite the exhaustion that lingered beneath her eyes. Robert Jenkins had been a regular customer for years. A retired mechanic with weathered hands and kind eyes, he noticed things others missed. Every morning, he would sit at the same corner booth, ordering black coffee and a simple toast, watching the rhythm of the diner and its workers. He had seen many servers come and go, but something about Emily caught his attention. Her determination, the way she managed her work while clearly carrying a weight far beyond the diner's walls, spoke to him. Robert remembered his own struggles as a young father, the challenges of providing for a family with limited resources. One particularly cold morning, Robert overheard Emily quietly discussing her broken heating system with a coworker. Her voice was soft but controlled, revealing nothing of her inner worry. He watched as she continued working, her son Thomas's welfare clearly her primary concern. During a quiet moment, Robert approached Emily. "Excuse me," he said gently, "I couldn't help but overhear about your heating troubles. I'm a retired mechanic. Perhaps I could take a look?" Emily hesitated. Strangers offering help was not something she was accustomed to. But something in Robert's eyes, a kindness, an understanding, made her pause. "That's very kind," she replied carefully, "but I couldn't impose." The diner owner, Margaret, who had been listening, intervened. "Emily could use some extra shifts," she suggested to Robert. "If you're willing to help with her apartment, perhaps we could arrange something." What followed was an unexpected partnership. Robert began spending weekends helping Emily repair her apartment's failing systems. He brought spare parts from his personal collection, teaching Emily basic repair skills as they worked. Thomas would watch, fascinated by the mechanical magic happening around him. Margaret played her part too. She increased Emily's shifts, providing a subtle but significant boost to her income. Small conversations revealed opportunities: a community college offering free evening classes, job training programs, resources Emily had never known existed. Thomas became Robert's little helper, passing tools and listening intently to stories about engines and repairs. The older man saw in the boy a spark of curiosity, a hunger to learn that reminded him of himself decades earlier. He began bringing small gifts, books about mechanics, simple tools, encouraging Thomas's growing interest. For Emily, these moments were more than practical help. They represented something she had almost forgotten: community, support, the possibility that she wasn't entirely alone in her struggles. Robert's help was never presented as charity, but as genuine human connection. The heating repair was just the beginning. Robert helped Emily understand basic home maintenance, skills that would save her money in the long term. He showed her how to change filters, understand basic electrical work, and make small repairs that would otherwise require expensive professional help. Thomas blossomed under this unexpected mentorship. His school performance improved, his confidence grew. He began to see possibilities beyond their current circumstances, inspired by Robert's stories of hard work and perseverance. Margaret continued supporting Emily at the diner, providing subtle mentorship. She saw potential in the young woman, her work ethic, her intelligence, her determination. Conversations about future opportunities became more frequent, more specific. As winter slowly gave way to spring, the changes in Emily's life became more pronounced. The constant stress seemed to lift slightly, replaced by a cautious hope. Thomas was happier, more engaged. Their tiny apartment, once a symbol of struggle, now felt like a home of potential. Robert never saw his help as extraordinary. To him, it was simply what community meant: people supporting each other through life's challenges. His own life had been rich with similar kindnesses, and now he had the opportunity to pass that forward. For Emily, this glimmer of hope was transformative. It wasn't just about the practical help, but about rediscovering her own strength, her ability to create change. With each repaired appliance, each encouraging conversation, she felt herself growing stronger. The community college stood like a beacon of possibility, its brick walls promising something Emily had almost forgotten: hope. She clutched the course registration papers, her hands slightly trembling. The evening business administration class represented more than just education, it was a potential escape route from her current life of constant struggle. Robert's offer to watch Thomas during her classes had been unexpected and life-changing. "You need this chance," he had told her firmly, leaving no room for argument. Margaret from the diner had also encouraged her, providing subtle support that made Emily feel she wasn't alone in her dreams. The first evening was the hardest. Emily walked into the classroom feeling like an imposter. Most students were younger, more confident, seemingly unburdened by the responsibilities that weighed on her every day. Her work uniform was still slightly damp from her afternoon diner shift, her hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. Margaret Thompson, the course instructor, noticed Emily immediately. Not just as another student, but as someone with a different kind of determination. During the first break, she approached Emily. "You're working full-time and studying?" she asked, her voice warm with genuine interest. Emily explained her situation, a single mother working 2 jobs, dreaming of a better future for herself and her son. Margaret listened intently, recognizing the spark of potential that many overlooked. She began offering Emily additional guidance, staying back after class to explain complex concepts. The coursework was challenging. Accounting spreadsheets, business communication, management principles, these were worlds entirely different from Emily's daily experience of serving coffee in cleaning offices. But she was relentless. Every free moment was dedicated to studying, often with Thomas sleeping nearby while she pored over textbooks. Robert became an unexpected support system. He would arrive early to help Thomas with homework, prepare dinner, and ensure Emily could focus on her studies. The boy was learning too, watching his mother's determination, understanding that education was a powerful tool. At the diner, Emily's colleagues began noticing changes. Her confidence grew, her understanding of business operations became more sophisticated. She started suggesting small improvements to workflow, demonstrating skills she was learning in her classes. Thomas became her biggest cheerleader. He would create little motivation cards, leaving them in her study materials. "You can do it, Mom," was written in his childish handwriting, a reminder of why she was pushing herself so hard. These moments of connection made the challenging journey worthwhile. The community college offered more than just academic learning. Networking events, career workshops, opportunities to connect with local businesses. Emily absorbed everything. She realized that her life experiences were actually an advantage, not a limitation. Margaret saw something special in Emily. During one late-night study session, she shared contacts with local businesses looking for administrative staff. "Your real-world experience is valuable," she told Emily. "Many students have theory, but you have practical understanding." Balancing work, study, and motherhood was exhausting. There were nights Emily wondered if she could continue. But Thomas's innocent belief in her, Robert's quiet support, and Margaret's professional guidance kept her moving forward. The business administration course was more than an educational program. It was a transformation journey. Emily was learning not just about business principles, but about her own potential. Each assignment completed was a small victory, each concept understood a step towards a different future. Her classmates, initially seeing her as an outsider, began recognizing her commitment. Study groups started including her, sharing resources, offering support. Emily, who had always felt on the margins, was slowly finding her place. Robert would often tell Thomas, "Your mother is building something extraordinary." And indeed, she was. Not just a career, but a pathway of hope. Each class attendance, each assignment submitted was a statement she refused to be defined by her current circumstances. As the semester progressed, Emily's world expanded. The tiny apartment that once felt like a trap now seemed like a temporary station. She was creating momentum, building a bridge to a different life, not just for herself, but for Thomas. The unexpected opportunity was becoming a calculated path to transformation. Emily Harrison was no longer just surviving, she was preparing to thrive. The E&D, the insurance company's office building, gleamed with modern glass and polished surfaces, a world completely different from Emily's previous workspaces. Her junior administrative position felt like a dream, a culmination of countless sacrifices and relentless determination. Her first day was a mixture of excitement and nervous energy. The crisp white shirt Margaret had helped her select, the carefully pressed trousers, her newly acquired confidence, everything spoke of transformation. Thomas had kissed her cheek that morning, whispering, "You're going to be amazing, Mom." Emily's background was different from her colleagues. While they discussed college experiences and family vacations, she understood budgeting, survival, and hard work in ways they could never comprehend. This unique perspective became her unexpected strength. Her supervisor, Michael Parker, recognized something special in Emily. Her attention to detail, learned from years of managing tight budgets and complex schedules, made her an exceptional employee. She wasn't just completing tasks, she was solving problems with practical intelligence. The first few months were challenging. Learning new computer systems, understanding complex insurance protocols, navigating office politics each day was a learning experience. But Emily approached every challenge with the same determination that had carried her through previous struggles. Robert continued supporting her journey. He would help Thomas with homework, prepare dinner, ensuring Emily could occasionally attend professional development workshops. His belief in her never wavered, a constant source of quiet encouragement. Margaret from the diner would visit occasionally, pride shining in her eyes. "Look at you," she would say, watching Emily confidently manage her new professional environment. The transformation was remarkable, from a struggling waitress to a promising administrative professional. Thomas was changing too. Watching his mother's journey, he developed a profound understanding of perseverance. His school performance improved, his confidence grew. He saw firsthand how education and hard work could create opportunities. The financial stability brought unexpected freedoms. For the first time, Emily could consider things beyond immediate survival. A small savings account for Thomas's future, slightly better groceries, the possibility of occasional small treats, these were significant changes. Her colleagues began seeing her as more than the new girl. Her practical skills, her ability to solve complex administrative challenges, earned their respect. Emily was no longer just surviving, she was thriving. Company training programs became another opportunity. Emily absorbed every piece of information, understanding that continuous learning was her pathway to further advancement. Her managers noticed her potential, seeing beyond her current position. Weekends became precious family time. Instead of multiple exhausting shifts, Emily could spend quality moments with Thomas. They would visit local parks, read together, plan small adventures. The constant stress that had defined their earlier life was slowly dissolving. Robert's mechanical workshop became a weekend learning space for Thomas. The old man would teach him basic repair skills, sharing stories of hard work and perseverance. These moments were more than lessons, they were connections across generations. Emily's journey wasn't just about personal achievement. She became an inspiration in her community. Other single mothers would hear her story, find hope in her transformation. She represented possibility, a living testament that circumstances could be changed. The tiny apartment that once felt like a prison was now just a memory. A small, comfortable house replaced it, a physical representation of their journey. Each room held stories of struggle, determination, and ultimate triumph. Thomas was developing into a thoughtful, ambitious young boy. His mother's journey had taught him valuable life lessons, resilience, education, and the power of consistent effort. He began dreaming of his own future, inspired by Emily's example. Her professional network expanded. Colleagues became supporters, mentors emerged unexpectedly. Emily was no longer just surviving on the margins, she was creating her own opportunities, writing her own narrative. The insurance company recognized her potential. Performance reviews were positive, opportunities for advancement began appearing. Emily approached each new challenge with the same measured determination that had brought her this far. As another year passed, Emily reflected on their journey. From struggling waitress to promising administrative professional, from constant financial uncertainty to stability, their transformation was complete. But more importantly, their hope remained unbroken. Thomas would often look at his mother and say, "I'm so proud of you." And in those moments, all the struggles, all the hard work, felt absolutely worth it. The 5 years had passed since Emily's first day at the insurance company. Now, she stood as a department manager, her journey from struggling waitress to confident professional complete. The small house they now called home was a testament to her incredible transformation. Thomas, now 11, watched his mother with admiration. He had grown into a thoughtful, intelligent boy, deeply influenced by Emily's remarkable journey of resilience. His school grades were excellent, his curiosity about the world expanding with each passing year. The community event was organized to highlight local success stories. Emily had been invited to speak about her journey, from single motherhood and financial struggle to professional achievement. Her hands trembled slightly as she approached the microphone, memories of her past flooding back. "My story isn't about perfection," Emily began, her voice steady. "It's about persistence. About believing in yourself when no one else might." The audience listened intently, captivated by her genuine narrative of transformation. Robert sat in the front row, his eyes glistening with pride. The retired mechanic who had first offered help years ago now saw the full bloom of the seed of hope he had helped plant. Margaret from the diner sat beside him, equally moved. Thomas sat near the stage, watching his mother with a mixture of love and admiration. He understood now that her struggles were not weaknesses, but sources of strength. Every challenge she had overcome had been a lesson in resilience. The insurance company had become more than just a workplace for Emily. She had introduced progressive policies supporting working parents, creating flexible work arrangements. Her personal experience had transformed her leadership approach, making her deeply empathetic and understanding. Her colleagues respected her not just for her professional skills, but for her genuine humanity. She remembered every struggle, every difficult moment, and used those memories to create a more supportive workplace environment. Community organizations began inviting Emily to speak about professional development for single parents. She would share practical advice, offer mentorship, and provide hope to those who felt trapped in difficult circumstances. Thomas had developed a passion for mechanics, inspired by Robert's early mentorship. Weekend workshops with the old mechanic became treasured moments of learning and connection. Emily supported his interests, recognizing the importance of nurturing individual dreams. The small house was filled with warmth and possibility. Family photos captured moments of joy: Thomas's school achievements, Emily's professional milestones, Robert's proud smiles. Each image told a story of transformation and love. Financial stability had brought unexpected freedoms. Emily could now plan for Thomas's future, consider further education for herself, dream beyond immediate survival. Their world had expanded in ways she could never have imagined during those difficult early years. Robert's health was declining, but his spirit remained vibrant. He had become a grandfather figure to Thomas, sharing life lessons, mechanical skills, and stories of perseverance. Their bond was a beautiful testament to unexpected family connections. Margaret continued to be a supportive presence in their lives. She would visit, bringing homemade meals, sharing stories, maintaining the connection that had begun years ago in the small diner where Emily's journey started. The community event concluded with thunderous applause. Emily's story resonated with many, a narrative of hope, determination, and the power of believing in oneself. Thomas hugged her tightly, whispering, "You're amazing, Mom." As evening settled, the family gathered at home. Dinner was a celebration of their journey, simple yet meaningful. Thomas shared school stories, Emily discussed work challenges, and their home buzzed with love and mutual respect. Emily reflected on their journey. From a tiny, cold apartment to this warm home. From constant financial uncertainty to stability. From feeling alone to being surrounded by a supportive community. The transformation was complete. Her message remains simple yet powerful: circumstances do not define you. Your response to those circumstances does. Education, hard work, and believing in yourself can create extraordinary changes. Thomas looked at his mother, seeing not just a parent, but a hero. A woman who had navigated impossible challenges with grace, determination, and unwavering love. Their story was far from over, it was just beginning. As night fell, hope filled their home. A hope born from struggle, nurtured by love, and blossoming into possibility. The end.